Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So we got a Meatloaf side dish tonight, and we're going to actually do a little machine work in this one. A couple of episodes ago, we've been talking about these Cheapco Lathe soft jaws and how to make them, how to set them up in the lathe, how to use a spider to preload them. So we're actually going to bore them and get our wobble gear set into the chuck properly for boring on the pitch line and boring the hole concentric with that pitch circle, or the average of the pitch circle, I should say. Also, we're probably going to put some more pins up. I did some world pins and Australian pins. Now we're going to do some of the U.S. viewers have been waiting patiently, so we got a pretty good list of those to go through, and so we'll get some pins up, and so let's get going. All right. Okay, so what we want to do here is just kind of try to determine approximately what the diameter we want to bore those soft jaws to is. We don't have a pair of valleys that are across the diameter from one another, so we have to kind of interpolate a little bit and see what we get here. I'm seeing 7-inch 900. Okay, a little less there. There's probably some variation in the gear teeth since it's just flame cut. We'll fish around a little bit and kind of see what. There's one that's a little low there. This might be kind of interesting. So. Alright, well, so I think I'm going to be right around 7-inch 900 on my diameter. So when we start getting close to that, we'll try to put the gear into the soft jaws with our little rolls here, or our little thing, I don't know, what should we call those? Just pins, I guess, is more appropriate. So we'll start trying to fish those in there and see how we land on there. And typically I bore the soft jaws just a whisker undersize, and then I open the chuck, put it in, and then crank it down onto the thing. That way they can get preloaded a little bit. So anyway, that's kind of generally what I do there. So let's go over to the lathe, and then we'll start boring those jaws and see if we can get this thing in there. All right, so we're over here. We've clamped down on a. We're not actually using the spider here because I want to bore these in a little ways, and these soft jaws are short. If I use the stud, I could come in here, but anyway, this happens to work out pretty good for this. So we're clamped down on that, which preloads the jaws outward, so they're nice and solid in the outward direction. So we're going to come in here and we're going to bore in, and then we're going to take some measurements until we get close to our 7-inch 900 that we're looking for. So let's see, what else? So we're just going to come up and we'll calibrate the boring bar on this face, and then we'll do a couple of cuts close to the depth that we want, and then we'll take some diameter measurements here, and you can see that when we get this 7-inch 900, we're going to be cutting away a pretty good portion of the soft jaw. We won't quite catch the hole, but we'll take a fair amount out of it. That way we get a nice broad surface for our rolls to sit on. Okay? Okay, so Let's see where we're at here. Sure, why not? Just aluminum, right? All right, let's come up. All right, there's 0. I'm going to set the travel dial. Check my feed rate here. It's going the wrong way, I know that. Alright, that'll work. Leave a little on the bottom. Okay. And it's kind of a ooky finish there. So I'm going to slow the spindle speed down just a little bit. See, we're 510 now. Let's go down to let's go down to 400. Try that. And so what I want to do now is I want to actually go ahead and calibrate the DRO. One nice thing about the 6 jaws is I can just go right across here. So right now I'm 7" 363. So I'm just going to set it right now. 7.363, enter. Sure I'm getting bigger, yep, okay. All right. Better. Let's go 7" 500. And you know what? I need some. Okay, let's take another cut. A little lube on there. Let's go 7" 700. Take a measurement, see how we're doing. Alright, that's pretty close. That's what I expect, that's what I want to see. Okay, so we'll bore a little more and then we'll get a test fit with our gear. Okay, so I think I'm at my 7" 900 diameter here, and then I put a little chamfer on that just so I don't cut myself. So we'll just slip this in here, and you can see it goes in, which is what we want. And now what we want to do is see if we can fish some of our pins in. It's looking pretty good so far. Alright, that one's a little tight. So actually, I think this actually looks really good. I'm still clamped on this the inner bit here. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm pretty happy with this. What I'm going to do is take that out, which will open this up slightly. We'll slip some pins in here, and then we'll get this thing in there. And well, let's just do it. Let's quit yapping about it and just do it, right? Of course, falls in the damn pan. Thank you very much. All right. Let's get that. So that's opened up just slightly now. And let's Set one of those in there, like so. We'll see how these land, you know. So far so good, it's not looking too bad. We'll have some kind of oddball ones here. Alright, it's getting a little snug there. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Probably rotate one way or the other just slightly. Not quite know what's going on there. What's your problem? Oh, I see it. Ha! It plowed a little piece of aluminum down there. Alright, let me rotate that a little bit, which is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. Okay. Alright, now it looks like I can get one in there. Like so. Let's close down on that. It wouldn't surprise me if we have some loose ones, yeah. Okay, well, you know, this is a flame cut gear again, right? So there's going to be some variation in these. Looking pretty good there. Alright, let me find that one in the chip pan. We got a couple of loose ones here. What I'll probably do is fuss around with this and see if I can find an average here. You know, maybe some of these are cut just slightly different and I can get tight pins all the way around. But let's, just out of curiosity, I got that snugged up a little bit. Put it at neutral. And you can see that hole's running out pretty good, right? From our you know, theoretical pitch circle here. All right, well, let me play with that a little bit off camera there and see if I can sort some of the, I got two loose ones it looks like. So that's not too bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clock these around and fish it around a little bit and see if I can find a happy spot there where they're all tight. Okay, so after some horsing around here, I got it, I found a spot where all six are tight on the pins and no gear teeth are touching the soft jaws. So you can see I marked this jaw. This was the starting jaw here, and that was the starting point that was lined up over here. Anyway, so I had to horse around with it and I tried a bunch of increments and it took a little while, but we got them all. They're all tight and the vise is tight and it's in there nice and flat. So you can see that's running out a little bit there, but that's okay because that's going to go away when we bore that. So we're ready to bore. I guess I better go get the drawing for this, eh? But anyway, that's how you do the soft jaw. That's how you bore them. And this is kind of an oddity because this is a flame cut gear and there's some taper to these teeth and some anomalies there, but we found an average spot that seems to work pretty good for our circle here, which should make this thing run pretty smoothly once we get it in the assembly. Okay? Anyway, that's how you bore the soft jaws, and I know everybody was waiting to see that, and there it is. And we'll go ahead and bore and fiddle around with this in another video. Okay, so let's do some US pins here, and we got a bunch. Okay, those are all US pins. There's probably 12 pages there of US pins, but let's jam through some here. First one is Mike McFadden. He's in Belfast, Maine, and awesome to see how far your channel has traveled. Borders mean less and less these days. You are absolutely right, my friend. Okay, so that is right about there. It's actually on the map. Cool. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Mike. All right, let me scratch that one. Then we got Keith Ward, and he's a regular commenter, and he's in Newark, Ohio, which is, let's see here, if I'm going to be, well, it's east of Columbus, so we're just going to kind of go right in there. All right, that's for Keith Ward. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate that. I appreciate all your comments. You have some good comments there. Okay, then we got Charles Lambeth, and he's in Baytown, Texas, and that's east of Houston, and there's Baytown right there. Oop. Jam. Okay, that's for Charles. Thank you, Charles. And next one here, we got Hal Rowland, and he's near New Orleans. And so he actually has some interesting stuff here. He's a service engineer in the marine industry, and he noticed that very few machinists were proficient in measuring large diameters, both inside and outside. Well, that's actually kind of a tricky thing to do. So there's your pin, Hal. We routinely have shafts over 30 inches in diameter and flanges 5 feet and larger. What I've done for those kinds of things is, and you get real good resolution, is pie tapes. These are the circumferential tapes, and the railroad industry uses them. Very difficult to take 2-point measurements on things that big. There's just so much spring and so much weight you're dealing with the measuring tool. So pie tapes work pretty good because they have good resolution, and they'll read down to about 1/1000th of an inch on a vernier. So I've seen that used for large shafts and large diameters. Anyway, thanks, Hal. Appreciate the comment, and that's actually a really good question you had there. Okay. Then we got CE208B. That's his handle, or their handle, in Memphis, Tennessee. And there's Memphis right there. All right. Thanks for the comment. Then we got Tom Zelickman. Now, okay, this is a pretty good one here, because I thought he was yanking my leg here on the name of the city. Fuquay-Varina. Okay, and I'm like, wait a second. See, is this like The Simpsons, where they call to the bar and they try to get the bartender to say something silly and call out somebody's name? But it's actually a real city, Fuquay-Varina. It's near Raleigh, and it's just south of Raleigh here. So we're gonna stick a pin in there. Anyway, thanks, Tom, and you caught my attention there. I looked up that city, and I got a good laugh out of that. So, okay, then we got Steve Cox in Ohio, and Steve helped me out with a little project here, some gears that he burned out for me. I appreciate that. And he's in Lima, Ohio, which is right here. He's kind of all by himself over there in the corner. Anyway, thanks, Steve. And he's got a YouTube channel, Buck Run 11. So go check him out. He's got some neat stuff on there. All right. Next one is Stanley Thigpen, and he's in Birmingham, Alabama, which is right there. Okay. And thanks, Stanley. Thanks for the comment. Oop, my pen's down there. Okay. All right, next one here, we got 2007 Mark B. So this is Mark, and he's got a Warner and Swayze turret lathe, and he puts triodine in to remove bacterial growth. Okay. Anyway, he's in White Marsh, Maryland, near Baltimore. Baltimore, north and east of Baltimore. Okay, so we're just going to go right there. Okay, next one here, we got Michael Yovan, and he's in Bourbonius, Illinois, which is a little south of Chicago. I don't see it on the map here, but we're just going to stick one in right there. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it says on your elevator nuts, you can cut a slot in the end and adjust them with a screwdriver. Okay, that's a good idea. All right. All right, next one here. Okay, we got a this is a blacksmith Johnny, and he's in Higganum, Connecticut. And Johnny is a regular commenter. He has got a lot to say, and he's got some interesting stuff that he's working on. So now Connecticut's pretty small here, so we're not going to be able to see Higganum, but he's a little south of Hartford, and well, there we go, right there. Now I got a friend over there that lives in Sturbridge, and he's got a little shop in Connecticut across the border. And check him out on eBay. He's Ray Schleen, and he does compound metal shaping. So look up English Wheels and Ray Schleen on eBay, and you'll find a link to his classes. So anyway, he's right in your area there, Johnny. And if you want to see some cool metal shaping stuff, go give Ray a visit. I think you get a kick out of it. Okay, then we're going to jump over to California. Let me check the frame, make sure we can see. Yeah, we can see old California here. So we got Timothy, and this is Tim, and he's in Lake Forest, California, which is kind of right in here somewhere. All right, and that's for Timothy. And so I almost made it through all your videos. I have about 20 left to go. I've been watching for 3 weeks straight. My wife is pissed because she doesn't get to watch Say Yes to the Dress anymore. Sorry about that, and apologize to your wife for me. And 3 weeks straight. Wow, that's pretty good. All right, then we got Joe Falmo in Okanogan, Washington, and this is kind of an interesting spot here, which is right here, and he's kind of in the middle of the state. That looks like it's above Grand Coulee Dam there. Anyway, that looks like some interesting country up there. That's Joe Falmo, and thanks for the comment. Okay, we got Anthony Moore, and let's see. Been in the trade for 17 years, looking for new tricks of the trade. He's in St. Louis, so I'm assuming that's Missouri right there. Oh, let's put a different color in there. Get a little contrast. All right, that's for Anthony Moore. Thank you very much. Okay, next one here. This is Brad Fisher, and Brad's he comments pretty regularly, and he's been anxiously waiting to get his pin in the map. And he has done a lot of different stuff over the years. So a service truck, he does welding, brazing, and cutting, and plumbing, and carpentry. He's a mechanic. He started with tires in his senior year in high school, 1979. So Brad, you and I graduated high school around the same time. And anyway, he's done a lot of stuff. And he is in Canton, Illinois. And and Canton, let's see. Right here, it's near Peoria. Anyway, thanks, Brad, and thanks for your comments. And we got your pin in, and sorry it took so long. Didn't forget about you. It just took me a while to get to here. A lot of people. Okay. Next one we got Sean Hawkins, and he's in Fort Bragg, which is right here on the California coast. And they have a big salmon festival there every year, 4th of July Salmon Festival. So if you live in California and you like salmon, go up there around the 4th of July. So anyway, he says, also it wouldn't hurt my feelings to get a pin in the map. Okay, well, we got you covered, Sean. All right. Next one, Dan Stone. And he is in Round Lake, Illinois. He likes Meatloaf. Well, who doesn't? Let's see. Your technique for turning small diameter pins was especially useful as I do a lot of this type of work. Cool. Elaborated on the high positive insters you were using. Okay, so maybe we'll do a little bit more on that. That's not something we want to go into in this here, but anyway, that's Dan Stone, and I believe up in this area right here, north of Chicago. All right, thanks, Dan. All right, then we got another local guy here, Dave Stairs, and his handle is Swarfrat, and he's in San Mateo, and also in Ukiah. So let's stick a pin in Ukiah, since they got more room there, and I think that's where his shop is. We got a pin there. So now, let's see, Dave Stairs. So Dave and Sean, you guys are pretty close together, and you guys are a couple of metalheads, so that might be a good little get-together there between you guys. So maybe see if you guys can do something, get together and have a little play day or something, right? Okay. All right. So next one here, we got Darren from Rochester, New York. WW55D is his handle. He's asking about rotary table, powering up a rotary table. So anyway, okay, so he's in Rochester, New York, which is right here near Lake Ontario. All right. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate the comment. Okay, then we got Keith Rucker. So Keith Rucker, he's in Tifton, Georgia, and he has got an excellent channel. He works and volunteers at a museum that restores old equipment of all sorts, and he's a very interesting cat. And he's in Tifton, Georgia here. So go check out his channel, and it's vintagemachinery.org. And he's got some really cool stuff on there. And he recently sent me a little care package full of goodies, and it was excellent. So anyway, check him out. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it. Now we got another Keith right on his tail here. Keith M. Keith Mifflin in Snohomish, Washington, and which is kind of near Everett. Right here. You have one in there. That's for Keith Mifflin. And let's see. Oh, he's asking about the tool holder for the Oloris. That was on the blog, Keith. So go look on my oxtool.blogspot, and you'll find it's called the Skeleton Oloris. And that's the name of the article, and we talk about how we make this kind of lightweight Oloris holder. Okay, next one here we got Rocky 1234732. Okay, that's cool. This is Dan in Las Vegas, and there's Las Vegas. Oh, okay, we got somebody else in Las Vegas. I don't remember who that is, but all right. Thanks, Dan. Okay, next one. Oh, okay, we got David Kirtley, and David's a longtime viewer. He comments all the time, and he's way down here in McAllen, Texas here, and real close to the border with Mexico. And yeah, that's pretty far south. Nice and humid down there, huh, David? Anyway, you link one everything far. Okay. Anyway, David, thanks for the comments and the support on the channel. Appreciate it. All right. And then we got Big Moldner, which is Thor's hammer. His name's Mike, and he's in Washington, D.C. I'm just going to stick one in there for Mike. And he's a hammer junkie like me, and he sent me a bunch of pictures of stuff he's working on. He's working on some interesting. He built a welding table and a few other things, so or with a plasma cutting attachment on the back. All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate the comment. Okay, so I'm moving pretty fast here, guys. Otherwise, these things take up a long time. So, oh, then we got Larry Mackey. And he's in Alaska near Anchorage, so let's stick his pin in. Anyway, Larry's wife would like to know how slick weasel snot is. Well, I've got a lot of experience with weasel snot. You have to very carefully squeeze the weasel to get the snot out of them. and then the snot that comes out is one of the best greases that you can possibly imagine. So I got personal experience with weasel snot. So anyway, thanks Larry, thanks for the comment, and say hi to your wife for me, okay? Okay, then we got a young guy here, and he's in Holland, Michigan, which is right here. Now I have a colleague that works in Lansing at the facility for rare isotope beams, and he moved there from California, and they're building a gigantic machine there in Lansing. So anyway, this gentleman here, this is Jacob Bauer, and he sent me a nice little letter. He's 22 years old, he's into metalworking big time, and his family has been doing it for a while, so he's got a real good start. And anyway, Jacob, stick with it, and it's a good trade, and it'll treat you right if you treat it right. Okay, so good luck with your career there. Okay, next one we got Steve McQuillan, and he's in Oviedo, Florida, and let's see here. Kind of on the coast here, I think, near Cape Canaveral, I think. Northeast of Orlando. Okay, so go right there. All right, I think it's on the coast. I didn't make a secret cheater notes here. 20 years as a telecoms engineer. I find it interesting that I relate so closely to the first few chapters in the book. So anyway, thanks for that, and I appreciate the comments. So thanks, Steve. Okay, then we got Sean in Colorado. He doesn't say where in Colorado. Anyway, he likes tubing. He wants to build a tubing bender, and he watches with his 9-year-old son. So thanks, Sean. Anyway, you don't say where you are here, so we're just going to stick you near Denver, okay? And I'm just guessing there, okay? All right, next one, we got Roberto, 2008, and thanks for taking the time to shoot, edit, and upload videos. Roberto in Denver, Colorado, thank you very much. Well, thanks, Roberto, appreciate it. That's 2 for Colorado right there. Bang, bang. All right, next one is Gary Makowick, and let's see here, he is near Argyle, Minnesota. Let's see here, I doubt you find it on the map. You know, I kind of looked this one up, and he is kind of near Thief River Falls, I think is where it was. Yeah, so right in that area, that's Minnesota. So hey, where's our North and South Dakota guys here? What's going on with that? There's not a lathe and a mill in North or South Dakota? Come on, you guys, cough it up. And who else? Oh, Wyoming. What's going on there? You guys too busy rounding up cows out there or something? And so we've got what's going on in this part of the country here? We got nobody in that area. And let's see, I think looks like Arkansas might be underrepresented too, and West Virginia. Come on, guys, I know you're out there. Just you know, all it takes is a half a sentence typed up. Okay. All right. So anyway, that was I'm sorry, I'm backing up here. That was Gary Makowick, and thank you very much, Gary. And we did find him pretty close. Next one here, we got John Garrett. Oh, this is a good story here. So he's in Corinth, Mississippi, which is right here. And now notice, you know, that's not too far away. Okay, that's what? That's a 4 or 5 hour drive, maybe, something like that. A bunch of guys down here. So you guys might be able to get together and do something. Anyway, he's a retired Chicago Police Department guy. And he built a shop, 40 by 50 foot building, and he moved his machines in there, and he's working on wiring and plumbing and having a good old time in his retirement. So congratulations on your retirement. And he moved down here where it's a little warmer. The winters up here are pretty rough, and anyway, congratulations. Thanks, John. Okay, then we got Richard Dogrid, and he's in Texas City, Texas, which is right there. Okay, all right, thanks, Richard. All right, next one here is Graham Irwin, and he is in the Indian Head region of Wisconsin, Wisconsin, northwest side, and so it's up in this area here, kind of near Rice Lake, I think. We're just going to stick one in right about there, and he wants to start his own business up there, and he and I kind of went back and forth on email a little bit with some just talking about starting your own business in this kind of work. So anyway, thanks, Graham. Appreciate your comments and everything. Okay, then we got Scott Glover, Gloveman009, and he's in Indian Harbor Beach, Florida, just south of Cocoa Beach. Oh, Cocoa Beach right there. Just south. All right, there you go. That's for Scott Glover. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the comment. I know you have enough projects, but you have the time and inclination. I would appreciate if you would cover how to precision locate a machine of V-groove, such as a lathe tailstock. Well, we just did one of those actually, so hopefully that helped answer that question a little bit for you. But some things you can't flip back and forth that way, so maybe there's still some more questions. Anyway, thanks, Scott. Okay, all right, we're getting down to the wire here, guys. All right, Kent Tittle. He is in Washington, D.C. Let's stick his pin first, and then we'll yammer about him. All right, that's for Kent. And let's see, he watches all the big guys, Keith and Double Boost and Mr. Pete and Jody. He found a friend of mine's blog, Jeff Tiedekin, over at Monkey Like Shiny. So if you guys want to see some kind of interesting creative work, you can check that out, and I'll put the link up here, and you can check him out. He does some kind of interesting stuff, and we're friends, and I visit his shop pretty regularly. So anyway, thanks, Kent. Appreciate the comment. Okay. All right, so then we got Bob Troxwell, and he was curious about the castings in the lathe thing we were working on the other day, and he's in a cool city. It's Mechanicsville, Virginia, which I thought was kind of neat. It's near Richmond here. We're going to stick one in there for him, and so that's Mechanicsville. So anyway, thanks for the comment, and great city name there, Bob. Okay. All right, and then we're down to the last two here for this session, and we got Charlie Foreman, and he's in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, right there. You know what? Let's get a different color there. Let's put a darker one in there. Okay, that's for Charlie Foreman, and he's been a machinist tool maker since 1978. Worked in Cincinnati, Ohio, small tool and die shop for 8 years. I miss a small shop. Yeah, small shops are nice. One of the things he says here is learning to TIG weld at an early age has served me well over the years. It kept me employed most of my adult life. So good point. It's good to be versatile. If you're a one machine kind of a person, then you're on your own basically. If you're good at a bunch of things, then you're just more rounded and more valuable to a shop or an organization. So good point there. Okay, thanks, Charlie. Appreciate the comment. All right. Then we got the last one here for today is Bill Moran, and he's in Boston. Jam one in next there. Okay, another one in Boston, and wonder if you could do a short segment sometime on turning parts with tapered profiles. Those that don't have a lathe with a taper attachment struggle with this skill. Yeah, okay. Turning and smoothing, create common. Yeah, well, that's a good subject. Not easy to do, but it's definitely doable. Anyway, thanks for the comments, Bill, and we'll see if we can get something on the video list. Okay, that's it for today.